Everyone on Dock 7 laughed when the alien kid said it. Elves aren't real. They said, clicking their small jaws and glowing eyes in disbelief. Those are old human fairy lies. The kids were from 3 different species: small, sharp-eared Zenari, round-skinned Blux, and thin, insect-like Vexa. They had grown up on starships and stations. They believed in plasma engines, gravity rings, and shield walls. Not fairy stories, but the human mechanic just smiled. His name was Eli Carter. He wiped grease from his hands and looked at the broken cargo ship behind him. The engine was silent, dead like a sleeping beast. Around him, sparks drifted in the air. The station lights flickered. Eli spoke softly. "Maybe elves don't live in books," he said. "Maybe they live where no one looks." The alien kids laughed again. That was their first mistake. Eli Carter was not important to the galaxy. At least that's what everyone thought. He was just a human mechanic on Frontier Station K-19. A forgotten place at the edge of known space. Big ships came here only when they had no other choice. Pirates passed nearby. Wars stayed far away. Humans were rare here. Most had moved deeper into human space. Eli stayed. Why? No one really knew. Eli fixed ships, others could not. Engines that refused to start. Cores that should have exploded but didn't. Old alien tech no human school ever taught. When asked how, Eli always said the same thing: "I have help." People thought he meant tools. They were wrong. Late one cycle, a massive alien freighter drifted into the station. Its engines were dead. Its shields were flickering. If the core failed, half the station would be gone. The station commander panicked. "Get the best engineers," he shouted. They tried everything. Nothing worked. The core was cracked. The energy flow was wrong. The design was ancient, older than most living species. Finally, the commander turned to Eli. "This ship cannot be saved," the commander said. "It is impossible." Eli looked at the freighter. His eyes narrowed, not in fear, but in focus. "It's not impossible," he said. "It's just forgotten." Eli walked inside the engine chamber alone. The doors sealed behind him. Cameras watched at first. Nothing happened. Then, strange things appeared on the screens. Small lights moved near the engine core. Tiny shadows ran along cables. Fast hands, too fast to be human, worked inside the cracked metal. The alien engineers stared. What are those?" One whispered. The alien kids pressed their faces to the glass. Pointed ears, small glowing eyes, slim bodies wrapped in strange fabric that looked like living metal. They moved like whispers, like ghosts, like elves. Inside the engine chamber, Eli spoke quietly. "Easy now," he said. "Take it slow." Soft voices replied, not through speakers, but through vibrations in the air. "We told you," small voice said. Musical, but sharp. "This engine was built by fools." Eli smiled. "They paid well," he replied. The creatures laughed. They climbed inside places no machine could reach. They bent metal with tools that looked grown, not built. They sang softly, and the engine answered. Energy lines straightened. Cracks sealed. The core stabilized. Outside. Alarms stopped. The station went silent. Then, the engine roared to life. The control room exploded with noise. "It's online. No energy loss." That core was dead. The alien kids stared in shock. "Elves are real," one whispered. Eli exited the chamber hours later. He looked tired. His hair was messy. His clothes were burned and dirty. The station commander stepped forward. "What were those creatures?" he asked. Eli paused. "They are called many names," he said. "Elves, brownies, gremlins, machine spirits." He looked at the children. "My people stopped believing," he continued. "But belief doesn't control truth." That night, Eli returned to his workshop. It was old, hidden behind cargo walls. Inside, glowing plants grew along metal beams. Soft lights floated like fireflies. The elves waited for him. "You showed us," one said. You broke the rule, Eli sighed. They were children. They will talk, another warned. Odd Eli looked serious now. Good, he said, because something is coming. The elves went silent. Far away, deep beyond the station, something ancient stirred. A signal had been sent. A power older than the station, older than empires, had noticed the impossible repair. A human. Using Forgotten Helpers. One elf spoke in fear. They will hunt us. Eli nodded. Then he said calmly, we prepare. The lights dimmed. And somewhere in the dark of space, a fleet changed course toward Frontier Station K-19. Frontier Station K-19 did not sleep that cycle. After the impossible repair, rumors spread faster than engine fire. Dock workers whispered. Traders recorded secret videos. The alien kids told everyone what they saw, their voices shaking with fear and excitement. Small people, they said. Fast hands, magic inside machines. Most adults did not believe them until the sensors began to scream. Eli Carter stood on the observation deck, its arms crossed, staring into space. The stars looked calm, but he knew better. His old warning instincts built from years of survival were awake behind him. The elves gathered. They were nervous. You felt it too, Eli said. Yes, replied Luma, the eldest elf. Her ears were longer, her eyes brighter than the others. A watcher has noticed. Eli nodded slowly. A deep space scan appeared on the glass window. Long-range signals. Military patterns. Not pirates. Empire ships. They shouldn't care about a broken freighter, Eli said. Luma's voice dropped. They care about what fixed it. The Galactic Empire ruled most known space. It feared two things above all else. What it could not control. What it could not understand. Elves were both, long ago. Before humans reached the stars, elves had worked with ancient species. They shaped machines that lived. Engines that healed. Weapons that thought, then the Empire. It hunted the elves. Forced them into hiding. Forced them into stories. On K-19, alarms rang again. This time, it was not an engine. Unidentified fleet entering outer range. Shouted a station officer. Screens lit up. 3 massive warships. Black holes. Red symbols burned into their sides. Imperial hunters. The station. Commander turned pale. They don't come for trade. He whispered. Eli walked calmly to the center of the command room. I need access to all. Maintenance tunnels, he said. The commander stared. Are you insane? We need weapons. Eli looked at him. You don't have weapons that can stop them? Eli said quietly. But I do. The commander hesitated. Then nodded. Inside the walls of the station, the elves moved. Hidden panels opened. Old circuits glowed again. Forgotten systems woke up. The station was older than anyone remembered, and the elves had helped build it. Power flowed differently now. Smarter, faster. Gun turrets shifted not to aim blindly, but to think. Shield generators stopped, wasting energy. The station was no longer just metal. It was alive. The Imperial ships sent a message. This is Imperial territory. A cold voice echoed. Surrender the human mechanic and the unknown species. Immediately, silence filled the command. Room. Eli stepped forward and pressed the reply button. No, he said. Simply. The Empire paused, then laughed. The first shot was meant to scare it. Failed. The station shield bent, absorbed, and redirected the energy. The blast vanished into space. Imperial officers stared in shock. That's impossible, one said. Then the station fired back, not with brute force, with precision. A single beam cut through a cruiser's weapon array. No explosion. Just silence. The ship drifted helpless inside the station. Alien civilians screamed and ran. The kids hid behind cargo crates, eyes wide. They're protecting us, one whispered. Yes, another replied. The human and the elves. Imperial boarding pods launched, dozens of them. They slammed into the station hall. Soldiers poured out tall. Armored, cruel. Energy rifles glowing red. They marched into the corridors. That's when the lights went out. The elves loved darkness. Tiny hands pulled cables. Doors locked and unlocked at will. Gravity shifted suddenly. Soldiers floated, spinning, confused. Then the station fought back. Walls moved. Floors folded. Invisible hands pulled weapons apart. One soldier screamed as his armor sealed shut, locking him in place. "This isn't possible," he shouted. A small voice replied from the dark. "You forgot us." Eli moved through the chaos calmly. He carried no gun, only a small device made of wood and metal, an elf tool when he placed it against a wall. The wall listened. Paths opened. Shortcuts appeared. Humans were slow, alone, but with elves, they were unstoppable. In the command room, the station commander watched in disbelief. "We're winning," he said. Eli shook his head. "No," he replied. "We're surviving." Deep inside the Imperial flagship, a high-ranking Inquisitor watched the battle feeds. His face was calm, but his eyes burned with anger. "A human," he said slowly. "Working with them." He leaned forward. "Prepare the final order." An officer hesitated. "That weapon is forbidden." The Inquisitor smiled. "So are elves." Far away. Space twisted. Something massive began to arrive. The elves felt it instantly. Luma gasped. They brought a world breaker. Eli closed his eyes. A single Imperial superweapon. Built to erase entire stations. K-19 would not survive a direct hit. The kids clung to each other. "We're going to die." One cried. Eli knelt beside them. "No," he said firmly. "Not today." He stood and turned to Luma. "Call them," he said. Luma stared. "All of them." "Yes," she nodded. Throughout the station, ancient signals woke up. Old machines whispered again. Across space, in forgotten ships and hidden worlds. Others heard the call. Elves. Hidden. Waiting. As the Imperial superweapon charged. The station glowed brighter than ever. Not with fear. With hope. The Empire thought humans were weak. Alone. They forgot one thing. Humans were never alone. The Imperial superweapon finished. Charging, a deep red light filled space, brighter than a small star. The weapon was made to erase stations, cities, and memories. No shield in the Empire could stop it. On Frontier Station K-19, silence spread. Even the alarm stopped. The alien kids held hands, their small bodies shaking. Adults prayed in ways their species barely remembered. Eli Carter stood still. He was not afraid. Luma and the elves gathered around him. Hundreds now filled the hidden halls, vents, and old tunnels of the station. Some were young, some were ancient. All were ready. "The old songs are awake," Luma said softly. "The machines remember us." Eli nodded. "Then let's remind the galaxy," he replied. The Imperial Inquisitor gave the order. Fire. Super weapon unleashed its power. Space itself screamed. The blast raced toward K-19 at impossible speed, but the station did not run it, answered. Every system, old and new, connected. The elves sang together, not with voices, but with thought and memory. The station changed shape at the smallest level. Metal flowed. Energy twisted. The shield did not block the attack, it caught it. The blast curved, bent, and slowed. Imperial officers stared in. Horror that should not exist. "One," whispered. The Inquisitor's face went pale. The energy did not stop. It turned. The weapon's own power folded back toward the Imperial fleet. The first warship vanished in a flash of white light. The second lost all power. Dead in space. The super weapon cracked down its center, its core screaming before going silent forever. Silence returned. The Empire had lost. On K-19, cheers erupted. People cried. Strangers hugged. The kids laughed through tears. We lived. One shouted. Eli did not celebrate. He knew this was not the end. The Imperial Inquisitor sent one last message, his voice shaking with rage. You cannot hide anymore, he said. The galaxy will come for you. Eli leaned toward the screen. Good, he said calmly. It's time they remembered. The channel went dead. Across space, the signal spread. Not a weapon signal, a truth signal. Hidden elves heard it. Ancient machines woke up. Lost human colonies received strange data their scientists could not explain. Stories came alive. Days later, ships arrived at K-19. Not imperial. Independent. Fleets, traders, explorers, scientists, even warriors. They all asked the same question. Is it true? Eli stood before them. Yes, he said. Elves are real. Gasps filled the hall. Some feared the elves. Others wanted to control them. Eli shut that down quickly. They are not tools. He said, they are partners. The elves stood beside him openly now. No longer hiding. Small. Bright, unafraid. The kids from Dock 7 stepped forward. They saved us, one said. They fixed everything. The crowd listened, because children do not lie about miracles. The galaxy changed. Slowly, empires weakened. Old tech became new again. Human engineers, guided by elf helpers, rebuilt worlds once thought lost. Ships became smarter, safer, kinder. Wars ended faster, not because of bigger guns, but because breaking things was no longer the only solution. Eli refused titles. He refused power. He stayed a mechanic. He believed someone had to keep their hands dirty to keep the future clean. One night, under artificial stars, Luma sat beside him. Humans are strange, she said. You forget magic? Then pretend you invented it. Eli smiled. We never forgot, he replied. We just learned to call it something else, far away. The empire fell, not in one battle, but in thousands of small moments where control failed and cooperation won. The truth spread faster than fear. On Frontier Station K-19, the kids grew older. They told stories to new children about a human, mechanic. About tiny helpers, about a day when lies died. Eli Carter worked late, as always. He wiped grease from his hands and listened to the soft hum of a living engine. You did good, an elf said. We did good. Eli corrected. The engine purred in agreement. The galaxy would never forget that day. The day humans stopped pretending elves were myths. The day the stars learned an old lesson again. Humans are strongest when they remember who helped them build the future.